The fine print is missing, just like it is with every diet. They're not going to tell you those things because they're not marketable. Who wants to know all the negative side effects of something when they could just be sold the promise? If you are someone who has struggled and has been on, off, on, off, on, off for years, whatever is being sold to you from the industry is not it. It's not going to help.
If you're looking for something else, what could you do?
Yeah. My final message will be, I've been sitting with this, and I know Gary Vee talks about this a lot. Like when people are zigging, you zag. I think that's the phrase. And I've been seeing it a lot already. Like I've been inundated with more GLP-1 ads in my social media space than I have the rest of the year. And so that is just all ramping up. And I want people to notice the pattern of the messaging that's being sent to them, because what everybody else is doing, they need to be doing the opposite. And that's exactly why they've been stuck for so long, is because these things that become trendy usually keep them away from the real work that they need to be doing.
I had a nice conversation with my mom yesterday. We were sitting down because she was like, "Man, you look great, man." And I was like, "Thanks, mom." Very nice thing for my mom to say. But it's like we
Yeah.
had that conversation that we were having where it's just like that voice inside that somebody else put in there probably is not going to ever go away. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like how just I feel better in my clothes and I don't feel winded just standing up. And I don't feel like this. Like that's really how I'm judging success now. But it's just when your mind starts rolling, it's hard. And
Sure.
I think when you see those ads that seem like, oh, all you have to do is break the glass, and this is the emergency button. This is really where it is. But it's just, no, all you can do is break glass, and you're going to have glass all over yourself. Like, it's
Exactly.
just, I think that's really frustrating because it seems that they work, right? That's what it seems like.
Um, Talking about how it seems to work, like these things that are going to be presented to you coming up in the next month, right? Like next week, literally, is the first of the year. And like these, you're going to see more ads. And it's really important to be mindful and have more of a keen eye, I would say, for those ads and what they're trying to sell you. Because, like you were saying, it seems to work, but that's what they say about every diet, everything that's being sold to you. And you've probably tried several of those. And they might have worked for a little while, right? But there are deeper things that need to be integrated to make it sustainable and to make it to work for you for long term. So I think that's the kind of where I'm going with it, is like the conversation just around stop doing the same things. Stop doing the same things. It's like it is the same business, it's the same marketing strategy just with a different face.
Yeah.
That's what this is, and that does not take away the efficacy of these GLP-1s to be helpful for some populations. But my problem with this is that it's getting marketed to everyone. You have people like Serena Williams, who are elite athletes and have accomplished so much with their bodies, still feeling shame and promoting this when she does not need to be on a GLP-1. I mean, that's just I don't know her personal history, right? But like on the surface, she does not fit the clinical criteria for needing a medication like this. You have the cast of Wicked, same thing. Those girls, those women looked super healthy before, and then you see the afters, and you're just like, what is happening? And then you see the Ozempic Christmas tree. What is this? You know? So it is same business marketing, just with a different face. And this year, the face is Ozempic or GLP-1s. And that's not to say these medications are bad, because they're not, but they are for a specific population. They are not for everyone.
Yes. I'm agreeing with you. Where I feel like I get stuck, right, is that I look at this and I go, and I don't know, but it's what does a GLP-1 do? Because all I've heard is appetite suppressant of
Mhm.
some sort. Like what the reality of what this drug does seems to be vague because it's just like you'll lose weight, so who cares? You know,
Yeah.
that's how it feels like it's being sold. It's like it's always lost this much weight using this. Who cares about anything else?
Yeah.
And that to me feels like it's the most unhealthy aspect of it, because then it just feels like you're going to use this and you're going to hit a number, and that's your pretty number. And once you get to your pretty number, you're good.
Yeah.
And then take this forever also.
Right.
But
They're
then,
not telling you the fine print. The fine print is missing, just like it is with every diet. If we think about something like keto, for example, right? They're like, oh, just do this exact diet to the T, and you will get to, like you said, your pretty number. I think that's a great way of putting it. But you're not, they don't tell you about the side effects. Keto flu, feeling exhausted, that there's a side effect of cutting out carbohydrates from your diet. They're not going to tell you those things because they're not marketable. Who wants to know all the negative side effects of something when they could just be sold the promise? Right? And that's why I say this is a business marketing strategy. It's not actually about your health. These companies do not care. They care about selling you the pharmaceutical so you can feel good about losing the weight. It's not actually about getting you healthy. If it was about getting you healthy, then it would be required that you see a physician and a dietitian in tandem to help you work through this, because that's a sustainable route. But being able to just go online and get, order it online is, I think, where I draw the line.
well, because then it's completely unchecked. Then
Yeah.
it's just, if I'm the narrator of my life with those things around weight and around appearance and around health, my emotions can cloudy my reality.
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel, again, this is because now we're dealing with feelings. This isn't so much of a, hey, Matt, you have XYZ. And honestly, you're doing everything that you can, and you need, like, I'm on blood pressure medication right now. That is what I'm on. And it's like, we went down, we did all the tests, and this is where I'm at. I could not regulate my blood pressure. No, so I'm on blood pressure medication. Okay, but that was with my physician, and I was walking down the path with them, and I'm still working on a path to possibly get off of them.
Mm-hmm.
With something like this, where I can go, I don't feel good in here about what I'm seeing here, and I don't have to talk to anybody to get the resolution. That's where it feels a little, that's where it does. This is marketing. This
Yeah.
is, if you're not wearing this pair of jeans, you're not cool. And it's like, what are we talking? I'm a grown man. I, I don't want that.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So like
Uh,
in so like when we see these, and you know, like, I know your passion for it, like, as a as somebody who's already sees it now, I'm trying to think, like, how can we get over that? Because it's almost like a hump, right? Where I see, like, this is an answer, but I don't really see that there might be a different way, or there might be a way where it's just like, oh, this is really about the rest of my life, not about this moment right here where I feel like, oh, I'm not at that number, or I'm not at that place that I want to be with my weight.
mhm.
Where is your head for those people? Because
Mhm.
this is expert freaking marketing. Like,
Yeah.
this is hitting every base reaction that a person can have.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you a question then? Since you're someone who's
Absolutely.
gone through it, it's like, well, what was it for you that got you to that point? Right? Because you have shared with me and on your journey that, things like that may have been appealing to you in the past. So, what was it for you that made you have that shift?
I couldn't do it forever, I think, was the thing. Everything worked short term, and then when my life showed up, I didn't have the tools to maintain or figure out what to do then. It was like, sure, under ideal conditions, I can track everything that I eat, meal prep for 4 months in advance, freeze everything. But it's, yeah. And then my 7-year old shows up and says, we need to go outside. And now I'm playing for an hour and a half to 2 hours because that's what I want to do rather than, oh, I'm sorry, I got to count macros right now, kid. Can you go over? You know what I mean? I think that was more of it. It's like I had done so many of the short term fixes that I was looking for something that actually would serve me long term.
Yeah.
And I think really that is the answer, but it's hard to express that to somebody who hasn't. It wasn't like I hit rock bottom. I just hit the point of I have to do something different because everything I've tried didn't work.
Right. Well, and I do think that that's what it takes. Is like eventually you'll see the pattern, right? For what it is that all of these solutions are sold to you for the short term of losing the weight quickly. It's sold to you in a package of convenience. And then when your life becomes inconvenient, like you just said, it all falls apart and you're like, and there's no support there to help you navigate through that gray area, right? Because if you can't stick to these things full force and 100%, then you fall off. And then this internal battle with yourself starts to come up and you start to believe that you're bad and that what is wrong with you? Why can't I do this? It seems so easy for everybody else, right? And that just keeps you in that cycle of wanting to start over again and again and again. And eventually you kind of have to put your foot down and say, no, like I know this is the solution's fault. This is not my fault. And I'm ready to do something that's sustainable.
The sustainable piece is the biggest part of it because it's like when I think about what reality is sure I have to have the ability to set boundaries with people who would not appreciate that I don't necessarily want to eat 20 million things at a holiday meal, right? Like the ability to say my job also is to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. But then there's like that other part of, but I'm also at a restaurant right now. I'm not at home. So I am out in the world. And how can I make this work for me? And it's easier now to be like, you know, I don't have to eat it all. In fact, I can have a couple of bites and be like, I'm going to save this for later because I don't need all of this. And I don't, I think it's, and it's just like a small shift, but it's just much more of a practical shift in my life that's helped me do that over grab the scale. I'm going to have zero point 0.5 ounces of the protein and I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know that we're not doing that because if we were, we'd be doing it.
Yeah.
So there needs to be something different. And
Right.
I feel like that's really where the work that you do comes in
Yeah.
because it really has helped me be like, oh, yeah, I can do something different. And it's not rude to anybody. And it's just me taking care of me in a way that I've never really allowed myself to do because I was looking for the other solution. And
Yeah.
when I see the GLP-1 stuff, it feels like, well, that's just trying to solve this thing that if I, again, learn how to do for myself, I might be actually able to understand when I'm hungry and when I'm full
Right.
and when I need some water and when I need to have a snack. But it's if I don't pay attention to my body, how is this going to help me long term? It's kind of where I get stuck when I think of doing a GLP-1.
Yeah. Because it does affect those things, right? Your hunger and fullness cues, even your relationship to food, because food becomes less appetizing, right? I hear a lot of people talk about how it takes the joy out of food. And to me, I just don't think that's worth it most of the time. I obviously it's dependent on the person. It can definitely be helpful for some people, but I think how it's being marketed to the masses right now, I don't think it's appropriate or necessary, right? It just again is unfortunately diet culture with a different face.
I feel like it's a different face because it's a medical face.
Yeah.
It's like a painted on medical face where it's just, it does something and may do it extraordinarily well, But your point,
My
if
point isn't
this,
that the medication is bad or it's ineffective, because it obviously is. My point is that it should not be as accessible as it is to everyone. You shouldn't be able to go online. This needs to be, if it's going to be a pharmaceutical and is marketed as such, like it needs to be under the supervision of a physician and dietitian. You should not be able to go to a med spa and get these medications where you have no support. They give you, it gets delivered to your house. You get no support on how to use it. And you're just basically left up to your own devices of figuring it out. And I cannot imagine starting to take that injection and having all these side effects and being your body just changing so rapidly and not having anybody to talk to about that or be a sounding board for that transition via a medical team.
right? Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the part. I know that's yeah. Okay, you say it, but every time you say it, it's like it hits me differently because I'm just kind of like, if I'm like I'm if I'm sad and I think this is going to make me happy and I start doing it, but I don't have any support or anything, like I'm just going to be more sad.
Yeah,
Feel like I feel like that's the thing. And it's just if I'm, ugh, then it's like a bigger philosophical question of if I'm not happy with me anyway, this isn't going to resolve it. And it's being marketed as this miracle thing that's going to resolve this big issue of self esteem, which is my body, my weight, how I look, how I appear. And it's marketed in the high gloss, high sheen, high touched up world. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of sad it's going to be a lot of sad people that now have taken this drug. Like, I don't know
yeah,
how that's helping.
yeah, 100%. And honestly, improvements in your self-esteem aren't guaranteed. They're just not. If it might help, like losing weight if you genuinely need to do so, but that's not guaranteed, right? Especially if that's been something that you've struggled with for a long time.
I understand that this marketing's out there. I think we're throwing the flag in the air to be like, hey, caution, be aware, slow down. If you're interested in them because they're making you interested in them, at least talk to your doctor.
Ask questions. Ask detailed, specific questions to your doctor, your physician, talk to a dietitian, reach out to me. I'm happy to have conversations about this. I am not, like I said, I'm not against GLP-1s. I am for educated use of them. I don't want anybody going in blind, willy nilly, and going in and hurting themselves. That's what I don't want to happen. I want people to make educated decisions around starting medications. That's what I want. So, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else there to be said.
I think that needed to be said exactly that way because it's crystal clear. But if you're looking for something else, what should you be doing or what could you do?
Yeah, and I know that there are many of you that don't want to do a GLP-1 and you want to go about it the old school way. And I think that's perfectly fine. And all I want for you is to realize that you're also being sold to. It may not be GLP-1s, but pay attention to what other marketing is coming out on this at this time of year, right? Because if it's not GLP-1s, it's some kind of supplement, it's some kind of like weird device that tells you how many calories you're burning. Is it a new fitness watch? Is it like there's so many things that are being sold to us around this time of year. And I don't know about you, but like when I'm on social media, especially YouTube or Facebook is the worst one, honestly, if you're watching reels or anything on Facebook, every two videos, I was seeing ads for some kind of weight loss, something happening there. And so even if you're not interested in GLP-1s, it's like you're being sold something. So you still need to be paying attention. You still need to be having a keen eye and not falling into the same trap just with a different face on it, right? Because it's the same thing. They all use the same like business marketing strategy, right? Just looks a little different as to what's being sold to you. So keep a keen eye, pay attention, and then whatever they're doing, whatever the industry is selling, you need to be doing the polar opposite. Because if you are someone who has struggled and has been on off for years, whatever is being sold to you from the industry is not it. Like, it's not going to help. Okay. And I'm not saying that to like shame anybody by any means for falling for those things, because I definitely did in the past. And it just, with experience, you learn like what to look for. But doing the opposite, like we've talked about today, is sustainability. If you are genuinely tired of that, like you need to be seeking out sustainable solutions that maybe aren't as shiny, right? But they work and they're more simple and they're rooted in anyone who can talk to you about putting you at the center of that experience rather than external things that can give you the quote unquote win, I think is what you need to be seeking out.
It's about you.
Yeah, it's
It's
about
about
you. You are at the center of your experience. And any solution that doesn't put you at the center of that experience and is just telling you what to do, we're putting our foot down in 2026. No more. No more of that.
how could somebody talk to you? Because like we're on YouTube, obviously here, we're on other social media. Like, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, my DMs are always open on Instagram. So at mryan_nutrition, shoot me a follow there. And I say that just because it's gonna make it easier for us to message. But yeah, my DMs are always open. I'm always happy to have conversations or just be a sounding board, like genuinely. I never want anyone to go into making a decision about their health not being informed. So I want to help point you in the right direction.
Final thoughts as we kick off 2026.
Can't believe 2026 is here. But I guess my final message will be to just be smart and pay attention and just know that when the noise of the diet industry is getting really loud, that doesn't mean you have to listen. That doesn't mean you have to pay attention. And I would challenge you to actually sit with that and say, am I falling for the marketing right now? Am I being pulled into this? Is it making me emotional? Are they playing off of my emotions? Are they wanting to pull me in based off my fears? Or is this a solution that's being sold to me from a place of empowerment, which is what I'm trying to do here? Just be real, have a keen eye. That's the biggest thing. Have a keen eye. If you genuinely want to get your health on track this year and you're tired of doing all the diets, you're tired of doing all the fads, and you're just tired of like questioning, is this really how people do this? It's not. It is not. It is not sustainable, and seek out sustainable solutions.